everybody, welcome to my channel for a new battle report. This is another practice game. I played against my friend Jake from England. He's playing the Infernal Dwarves. We were both playing with our ETC list. Unfortunately, due to COVID, Jake wasn't able to attend to ETC, so at least I had the chance to play him in a practice game before. But yeah, I was really sad for him because I know he prepared a lot that he couldn't make it. So Jake, thoughts for you, and I hope you're doing well and that you're going to be here next year. This practice game, so you know already my army. This was my ETC list, and this was Jake's list. First of all, I was quite interesting to play against him because he's playing the big Infernal Warrior list block, with Ziggurat Regulars and Blunderbuss. And I was curious to face that on all the ground because we were playing Wales for first round of ETC. I knew that at that point in time, and I wanted to see if I can manage this big block because the Wales guy had a similar list to Jake, a bit less fighty, I could say. So Jake in his list, he had a 1-up roller BSB, he has an Adept Alchemy, 3 Piece of Chaff, which is quite a lot for ID. So he has the small guy on Torque Ritual, Apprentice Occultism, 1 guy on Witchcraft with Ranger Boots and a unit of Vassal Cavalry. Then he has the big brick of Warriors, 20 Levies as a Mage Bunker, 6 Incarnate, 10 Enforcers, 10 Immortals, and a Kadim Titan. So a fighty list with a good magical setup and a Cowboy, which is the BSB to support also combat. His combat unit, he has 2 big units, which is Incarnate and Warriors. And other than that, more support unit between Immortals and Titan. Also interesting to mention that he could potentially play on Immortal being Bodyguard with both the Vizier and the General. Also potentially the second Torque Ritual. We played the first round setup because I really wanted to see how it goes on the whole ground. And below you have the magic selection for both players. Matchup analysis. I think the secondary objective depends a bit on who is going to start, but overall I felt I have enough combat power, more than him, to win secondary objective. If I play well with all my chaff available, I could delay the fight against Blunderbuss to make it very hard for him to advance, and then because if they would advance too much, then they could be chargeable by too many things, which would be a problem for them. Multiple unit that could be annoying for my Tuskers, his BSB, all the Kadim families, so I have to be careful where to place my Tuskers. Frost Mammoth could be key to win some close combat, thinking here about Kadim Incarnate. 6 of them is quite a lot, but if I go before, thinking especially about the Mercvets, I could definitely be on top on this combat. He has a lot of chaff, so I need to watch that closely, and I rated it as a small win for me. Deployment. We ended up playing Frontline Clash. I won the role for side. I picked the bottom because I felt the hill is quite interesting to play all the ground, and I felt Water Train can be a bit annoying. The wall can be interesting, but at the same time I have a forest. So I have 2 pieces of terrain that I can use in the first few rounds to gain some cover against his shooting, because I knew that Blunderbuss don't like that at all. So I felt definitely bottom would be more interesting for me. Then Jake decided to drop for turn 1, which I think makes sense. He dropped a bit with how can I say, like a center of gravity to the right of the secondary objective, which surprised me slightly. I thought it would be more central, so he went slightly to the right, maybe take advantage from the wall. So he put his truck unit with 2 characters within. Then he has the main block of Blunderbuss that can take the wall with his general, the unit of Incarnates, unit of Vassals, his chaff piece, block of Vassals with the 2 mages, and the Kadim Titan on the left. So what I decided to do when I saw that is, first of all, I thought that it could be very hard for the Kadim to get the wall. So I felt if I place my Mercvets in front of them, there is a very low chance, because he has no musician, so it could be very hard to maneuver with the impossible to get the wall, so there is a low likelihood that he gets cover turn 1, meaning I could get very good shots turn 1. So I felt Merc Vets within the forest facing Kadims is really nice, and at the same time I cannot get too hurt by the blunderbuss, because if they go hard forward, I need to be careful of Raven Swing obviously, but if they go hard forward they would be hitting me on 6 up. So I felt that was definitely going to be the best spot for the Merc Vets to be, and I placed obviously the Frosty nearby to give me potentially the aura or support center on the right, because he puts his immortal here. I put some bruises. I debated a bit whether or not I should be central or to the right. I felt by having these two could make the life hard for the spear guys to push forward, but at the end I don't think it made a huge difference to put them here or there, considering the likelihood of the combat, and also the fact that the Frosty should do fine against a unit that is wounding him only on 6 up. So I felt this unit was slightly misplaced. Then Bruiser's Tribesman, my Tribe Star with the Great Khan in the unit, obviously Shaman BSB within the Merc Vets, and then the Tusker Cavalry found a good spot to be, first of all, not targetable a turn 1 by Quicksilver Lash, which I felt important, far away from the Incarnate, which was also quite important, and then still useful to push towards the middle and also threaten Kalim Titan, because I felt my chances should be quite good if I can get a charge against him. And then far left my Giant, basically giving him a situation where I have two threats against 1, because he's not that strong here in this middle. So 2 units against 1. If he goes toward the center, then my Giant could be free to push and threaten his back line. Let's start with his turn 1. So he pushes forward, takes the wall, pushes the Kadims forward, pushes Max, his spear guy, forward. He uses activate a piece of chaff to try to chaff my Tuskers, giving me no good overrun and placing the Kadim Titan in a position where he could threaten me. Here I made a mistake. I should have turned my Giant to the right, looking here, cost me nothing, and would have prevented me from this position where I cannot kill his chaff with anything else than the Tusker. So it could make my life very hard to get rid of the chaff. By just turning the Giant to the right, which changed nothing, because if the Titan pushes here, I will not charge. So I can look to the right and just cover that position and make sure that if he goes there, I can threaten him with a terror check, which could be hard for him to take with only leadership 6 or 7, maybe rerollable, but in this case not rerollable, but because he's too far, so he would have need to push more with the BSB and then be in danger from getting another charge, which I don't think is worth it. So basically would have made this position impossible for him to take, or way too risky in my opinion. So here, first mistake for me, the position of the Giant. We'll see how I can solve that. Magic Face, he gets a Quicksilver Lash on the Merc Vets, did 2 wound, then I dispel Breast Weapon, he 5 dice Breast Weapon, which surprised me a bit, but I was still able to dispel it. 2 bow shots did, with 2 guys here, he did 1 wound to my Tusker and put me a flammable token, which hurts a lot in the perspective of combat between the Titan and the Tusker Cavalry. My turn 1. So I decided to move back, since it would give him a pretty long charge, and position my Giant in a position where he cannot stay here with his chaff, first of all, and if he charged me with the Titan doesn't go through, I could charge him in the back with the Giant, which could be a big threat for him. So I felt that was the right play. You cannot see my Giant obviously, and here this is a pretty long charge, like a 10 or 11 Swift Ride I guess. Then I position my Great Khan's unit on the hill to try to threaten him a bit more. Basically still giving a front to the Titan in case he wants to charge in the Kagadai, feel free. The Merc Vets remain in the forest. I move slightly to the side with my Frosty, and the rest just shuffle a bit around. Magic Face, Hand of Heaven did 1 wound to the Incarnate. I cast Chilling Hole, he dispel Wrath of God. Great Khan was lucky enough. I found a position where the Great Khan would be in his flank, which I felt quite interesting. So I was able to get a shot on the 4-up, kill 1, kill another 2. Because it's going through, it's like a ballista shot. Panic check on a 7 or reroll, he failed that one and they flee. So I solved the issue. I was a bit lucky here. It was really a bit lucky to do the 4-up and do 2 wounds to get the panic check. So lucky for me, he flee, and the Merc Vets roll crazy and did 6 wounds to his Incarnate, which is way too much. He's turn 2. It started to realize that putting the blunderbuss behind the wall doesn't do much, because I can shoot at the Incarnate, so there would definitely be my prime target, while the guys were behind the wall. So I decided to push with the blunderbuss move slightly forward with them, activate a second piece of chaff to chaff my Death Star so that he can move forward with the blunderbuss and also the Toruk unit. Move slightly back with his Titan so that the Giant doesn't see and these guys are too far away for a charge. Rally, he didn't rally those guys on the 7 rerollable, which is kind of important. If he would have rallied, I could have get a charge with the Giant, but then I would have been exposed to the Titan, which is not great. So yeah, unlucky for him to not rally. And then what happened? He did in magic 2d6 strength 4 to my Giant, did 2 wounds, and that's it more or less. No big shooting this round. My turn 2, I charge the chaff with the Death Star because I could double chaff these 2 units with 1. Basically, but I think I couldn't. He had 2 units within 6. I think I could have. I had also 2 units within 6, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, I use 1 piece of chaff to chaff 2 units, and I could easily then get rid of his chaff and also get rid of 1 spell. My Giant, since he's looking that way, I go around the building to try to tell him, if you push forward with your Incarnate, with your Titan, then I could charge the chaff, because if the chaff rallies, I will be able to see the chaff. So I want to force the Titan to hold back, allowing my Tuskers to slide a bit and maybe push later on. Other than that, yeah, didn't move much with the rest. Shuffle around, move these guys out of arc of the spear to threaten with a flank charge, and that was it. In my magic phase, Hand of Heaven did another 2 wounds to Kalim Incarnate. I cast Chilling Ghoul, he dispelled Wrath of God. Merkvet did another 3 wounds to the Incarnate, so there is only 2 of them left at this point of time, which is great. Challenge in close combat, but my Great Khan kills him, I think, outright with Impact Hit. His turn 3, he activates his 3rd piece of chaff, giving me the Witchcraft Apprentice, charge my chaff with his Blunderbuss. And what else? Incarnate, they are like kind of trapped, so they didn't do much. They just threatened me with a flank charge on them. In case I charge here, he wants to be able to counter charge with Incarnate, which I think is a smart solution. Other than that, didn't move much. Push back with the Titan to protect the flank from a charge of the Giant, which is what I wanted because it will allow me to push forward with my Tuskers. And I think this round he rallied on a 7 or reroll, or maybe more. Was he within 12? Yeah, maybe even 9 rollable. But he rallied those guys, which is nice. Magic Phase, Cascading Fire did 1 wound to my cat. I was okay to lose the cat. Obviously, I might need him, but I have still another piece of chaff available. He hasn't much available chaff left, so I felt okay to let that go to dispel other stuff. So he did 1 wound to me with Cascading Fire. 2d6 did 3 wounds to the Tribesman, I think this small unit. 2d6 strength 4. I dispel +2 armor save because I wanted potentially to hurt him on his blunder block. And shooting, he did 1 wound to my big unit, my Death Star, and putting me token. Close combat, he killed my guys. Oh, didn't? Did he kill all of them? At least I did some wound because we strike same time. But we will see if I'm still there or not. No, I'm not here anymore, so he killed me outright. My turn 3, I activated the cat as a piece of chaff since it's still alive. I charge the chaff, move forward with my Tuskers, move forward with the Giant to threaten his flank and his advance. Basically, if he moves forward with Titan, I want to be able to charge him. And if he does that, then I can get rid maybe of the chaff. Also cause some march check on chaff and so on. Reposition Merkvets and so on to not get easily overrun at. Decide to charge only with the Frosty, because in case I fail charge and go only with the Bruisers, I would be in big trouble. So I decided the Frosty can go alone. He passed the 3rd check and I get the charge. I decided that I should be able to handle them enough. It will be a steadfast on a 9. So I should be fine. So I decided to go around here. I think slight misjudgment on my part. I could have moved around here to his flank just to make sure in case we are stuck here I can counter charge next turn, because here it just takes me too many time to go toward the middle without being able to achieve much. Basically, since I deployed them far right, I should have kept the original ID, which was 2 against 1. Magic Phase, what did I get? Yeah, Frost Mammoth was a charge on a 5, so maybe I could have even combo charge here to make sure I get rid of him. Anyway, But I think I wanted to keep the charge quite long for him. That's why with reforming I could give him a pretty long charge, and I think that's why also I didn't combo charge. End of Heaven, kill one of the Infernal Warrior. With shooting I kill another 5, which was nice. Close combat, I do only 3 wounds, he did 2 to me. I think he loses by 1 maybe, not sure, but yeah, I think he loses by 1 and stuck. I kill the chaff, but I have only 1 scoring unit within the center. He has 3, so he gets the first point for all the ground. His turn 4. He decided to not charge the chaff and move slightly back, rearrange his formation. These guys were rallied, so he moved them back here. He moved back the BSB in case I charge. He wants to basically arrange some flea moves, reposition Titan to chaff my giant. And here he made the counter charge on the 8 Swift Ride against my Frosty, who is in big trouble. And also I didn't position them so well that I'm not having a good line of sight on this combat. So here I did some mistakes, definitely. He failed also some rerollable march check on a 6. I guess with this unit, 6 rerollable, and failed that one to come forward and chaff me, which is huge. Magic Face, I binding scroll +2 armor because I see here an opportunity to get some of these 3 units charging the big block maybe. He did 2d6 strength 4 against my Tuskers. My Tribesman did 5 wounds, doesn't matter too much. Lash did 1 wound to my mercs. What else? Yeah, I think then we go in close combat. He tried with some of them to shoot at the cat, but didn't kill me. Then he had to finish me with the blunder, which was kind of unfortunate. Close combat this time. The Frosty that didn't do so well on the charge between impacted stomps and 10 attacks. This time rolled crazy good. I did 4 wounds to the Incarnate and 3 to the Immortals. And I'm able to win by 1. The Immortal break, which makes a bit no sense. They break, stay on the board, and the Titan remains alive with 1-2 wounds. Don't remember exactly. They did some wounds to me. So a bit strange what happened here. I don't break on the charge, but then I win on the phase where I'm not charging. And I get counter charge. So kind of strange. Yeah, my turn 4. So he had a decision to make. Basically, I had a charge here, I think on a 6. Was it 12? I guess 12. I had the charge, I need to think, maybe on a 5. But I had a charge that I had like 10% chance of failing. Here I was automatic, and this one was a 9 Swift Ride. So basically, if I get 2 of this unit in this unit of Blunderbuss, then I can overrun to the flank here, and that's the end of the game. I felt I still have chaff alive, so I decided to try to go with a safer approach, thinking I will have a better chance of getting rid of them with less than 10% risk. So what I decided to go, basically that's typically a situation where I would have taken time out at EDC and where you discuss that with the coach. What I decided to do is charge with this unit against the vassals. They fled here. Then I redirect against the Toruk. They flee again. And then, so they fail charge, and this guy says not to charge, and I chaff him again. Basically, that's what I decided to go. I double charge, get him Titan. What I was afraid of is failing that charge, go alone with this unit, and then get counter charged by this unit of Toruk in my flank and just lose the whole unit. What I could have potentially done also is charging them to see if they flee, and if they do so, maybe then it's less risky to double charge this unit. So maybe that was the best solution. Anyway, so I chaffed, he double fled, I get that charge off, which was pretty easy. I don't remember what was the roll, but it was not a long charge. I get Chilling Roll in Magic. Hand of Heaven, kill 2 of them, so I wanted to reduce them before combat. Mercvets shoot and kill 5 of them. Frost Mammoth died against the Incarnate. He was still alive with 1 wound, which is very annoying because he could be able to chaff me. I failed a panic on 8 rerollable with them. They flee through and stop here, which is annoying. Close combat, I will kill the Titan between all my attacks. No, I think I don't kill him. I do like, did I write that down? I remember something like I did 5 wounds to him. He did kill a bit more than one model, and then because of the static res and the combat resolution, it just popped. Basically, that's what I remember. I decided to overrun because he could charge the BSB against them, so I decided to overrun to go out of arc, and he just pivoted, basically. His turn 5, he moves around the BSB to threaten my Tuskers, rally everybody, looked at me with this unit that way to get rid of the giant, charge with the blunderbuss them, yes, and obviously chaff with the Titan, my Merc-Vets, which was very annoying, something I didn't take into account, rally those guys, this round maybe. Magic Face, he did 2d6 strength 4 on the giant, did 3 wounds to my giant, which is huge. He didn't kill me and pass a restrain on a 9 no reroll, which is also very important, because if he failed that, then he gets overrun against by the Merc-Vets, and that's just the end of this unit. So I think that was also a very important roll. And then my turn, rally this guy, charge the flank with Kadim, charge with the giant, is stand and shoot, I guess, don't remember. Move this guy away from the BSB, reposition them to basically tell him turn 6, there is no way you can avoid me getting this unit. Position myself also to get secondary, at least, yeah, for the last turn to draw the objective. And that's it more or less. And I don't know if I have many pictures. I get hereditary in on Merc-Vets maybe? Don't remember. Yeah, at this point I was not afraid of him charging me basically, because there's not so many left. So I got hereditary in. The giant ended up dying, so I had like 11 attack. I put some on the mage, some on the champion that has strength 4, and I did only 1 wound to the champion and 1 wound to the mage, and Storm did like nothing. I was killed in return, so that was very, very disappointing. No, I didn't even Storm because I was killed before, so I didn't understand what happened here in this situation. I have like a giant with something like 5-6 wounds left. I take 3 wounds for magic, couple stand and shoot, go in combat, get killed. Make not many sense to me. And then after that, yeah, we just discussed the end, but basically I was able to get this unit, and I had 4 scoring to get the secondary at the same time, making for him almost impossible, I think, to block everything, save the points from the general maybe. I think what most likely would just, that's what we agreed on, he could save the general passing a march test. I would eat the blunderbuss and get secondary this round, and basically tie up secondary objective. So it ended up being 14-6 for me. Post-game analysis, I think starting was important, like I told, so I think good choice for him to start. It could have been more central. I felt he was a bit too far away from the center, and he should have taken the wall with the Kadim Incarnate that were really badly hurt from my shooting attack. Deployment, yeah, range damage minimization worked well. He wasn't able to do much early on. I felt, yeah, after seeing the game, obviously I should have taken the 2-on-1 charge turn 4, I guess, against the blunder, and that would have most likely be the end. That was charge on a 5. I think in this type of situation, every coach in the world will tell you get the charge, and if you get it, that's the end. The chaff fleeing, and before that, like I said, I think the right play was charge with the Death Star against the Torque. I think they cannot hold that charge. It's way too risky for them, basically. And if he flees, then it's even safer to take the 2-on-1 charge. Yep, fleeing with his chaff cut a bit his push ability with Kadim Titan, so that was kind of huge. Like I said, I should have prevented that with a better placement of the giant. Range damage did a lot on my part to cripple his CC unit. I felt I rolled a bit above average. And yeah, other demonstration, it's something I said very usually, that when you go in combat, you never know what can happen. And that's definitely what happened here. Immortals, 2 unlikely rounds, the giant against Vassal and so on. So it's, yeah, this type of combat show exactly that sometimes you cannot predict much when you go in combat. I mean, the dice can always shrink. Okay, that was it. Thanks a lot, Jake, for the game. It was very enjoyable. Too bad that you couldn't make ETC. Like I said, I hope next year. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching this battle report, and talk to you soon on the channel.